on YouTube here. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Daily Bone Podcast, Monday, September 9th. We are back. We run the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, each and every week, where we discuss all things crypto. That's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, a lot to discuss: the volatile crypto price action, no surprises there, meme coin trading strategy, and the potential death of Frentech. Who could have seen that coming? Before we get into the weather report, Easy, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very, very well. How are you? How was your weekend? Yeah, ooh, that's quite a bright light.
I forgot that I was doing some stuff with a filmmaker here over the weekend, and he wanted to see just how bright these lights could go. And we gotta turn that down. Here we go. I can't even look in that direction. I'm gonna get a concussion just from looking at the light. We'll get this light cleaned up. What country are you in right now, Easy?
Vietnam at the moment.
Vietnam.
The food bangs in Vietnam. Yeah. Oh, I'm jealous. I am jealous, Easy. The food is just, another, like, it's all about
here till like Thursday, and then making my way down to Malaysia and then Singapore on Monday. So the 16th. So I'll be there for Token, Breakpoint, which you guys get in for, and all the fun stuff.
What have you been eating in Vietnam?
A whole bunch of stuff. It really varies, to be honest. Like, to your point, the 6 point, like street food. It's a lot of chicken, a lot of street meat, which is good. A lot of rice. A lot of sauces. They have like a peanut sauce that's pretty good that I do like. I'm a little cautious on some of the sauces because I have a small tree nut allergy, so I don't really take too many swings on that because, to be honest, they don't really make it clear what they may have in some of those things. But nah, it varies. I mean,
have you tried the coffee with the egg? Have you tried the coffee with the egg white yet?
Yes.
Oh, good man. Good man.
Yes. I mean, even just like Vietnamese coffee with condensed milk is so good. Like, just the way that they do it here is so good. Their coffee is so much better than like anything else. It's like definitely a known thing is Vietnamese coffee.
World renowned.
It's literally like the opposite of like you ask for a black coffee, you're like, yeah, great, no calories, and you're like, shall I add condensed milk to my coffee? It takes it to a whole new level. But yeah, for the heart, it's probably not that good over the long term. But for the dopamine, it's a winner.
Yeah, I think do they put a lot of sugar in that?
Condensed milk.
And condensed milk. It's literally sugar.
Yeah.
Got it. I don't even know what condensed milk is. I don't know what that is.
Milk. It's basically milk heated up, add sugar, keep heating it, and then it becomes really thick and sweet. It's amazing, but it's not great for the if you're diabetic or trying to be healthy.
Okay. All right. Got it. Well, look, let's get into this weather report. Great to hear about Vietnam. Obviously, a very cool country. Food must be incredible. Never been there. Only been to Thailand in Asia, but obviously we'll be going to Singapore in just 1 week from today. Pretty crazy. Got a pack for that. Sig, please take it away.
Yeah, let's take it away, folks, on this weather report. It's Monday. It's September the 9th. Looking at the crypto roundup, the majors, they've just slightly recovered over the weekend after falling almost 7% on Friday. Bitcoin at just over 55K, Ethereum at 2,300, and Solana at $130. We just continue to be in this range. The largest mover among the top 100 coins, it was PopCap. That is up 10% on the day to 560 million market cap. Over the weekend, top three stories. Well, firstly, we saw crypto weekly lows. Crypto funds had massive outflows, recording the second largest week of outflows this year. On the back of the crypto dip, Coinbase stock fell 21% on the week, the largest drop this year. Will we see ETH ETF or the Bitcoin ETF products get scrapped? Who knows? Could happen. Secondly, next up, Frentech could be on the path to shutting down. They announced that they renounced contract ownership, preventing any change to the fees and functionality of the platform going forward. The Friend token is down 28% of the week to an 8.6 million market cap. And then finally, we love to see him, Roaring Kitty. He's back again. His most recent meme post is from the Toy Story and shows Andy dropping the Woody doll with the Chewy logo replacing the head. GME and Kitty meme coins ran 50% on the back of the post. That is all for the weather report. It is back to you folks in the studio.
So is he saying he's out of Chewy? He's out.
It looks like it. He's so washed, bro. He's so washed.
He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Dude. Yeah, but he's not moving anything anymore. Dude tried to pump Chewy. It flopped heavy. Back to GME. Like, I'm good with him. He's done.
Well, Blate is over here pointing out, this is on the Frentech subject. When these things become very hot and the entire kind of crypto Twitter audience is interested in them, I'm usually I'm quick to point out, like, yeah, I'll be really interested to see where this thing is in like 14 months or something like that, which is obviously not a long time in business. Our business is coming up on its 3-year birthday in just about a month. It'll be around for 3 years, and we're a very young business. You think about Barstool Sports. I was consuming some funny Barstool Sports sketch content over the weekend, specifically the car fucks bit. If you haven't seen that one, I'd recommend seeing it. It's very funny. Barstool's been around since before I was in undergrad as like a freshman. For years before that, I found out about it when I was 18. So you're looking at least 16 years there. These businesses have to be around for a long time. But, you know, when we host this show, people come on the show and they're like, no, you don't understand. This thing is like super duper important. I'm like, well, it'll be important or it can potentially be important. It has a chance to be important if it's still around in like 12 months. I'd love to know the total. I'd love to know when we first started talking about Friend Tech on this show. I think if you have an anonymous founder, you borderline, there's almost a guarantee that it's not going to be around for 14 months. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, the anonymous founders like to just take all the profits. And even it seems like if there's institutional investors, it almost just seems like there's like a backdoor deal to give them some kind of gain so that they're happy too, and there's no lawsuits. And really just the people that bought like the crypto token on the front end are the people that end up holding the bag with a lot of this stuff. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. It seems like Friend Tech probably won't be around 2 years from now. I don't know if I'm way out to lunch on that, and it's going to be like the biggest thing ever in 2 years. But it definitely seems like it is probably not going to be around, and it wasn't really around for that long, and it has an anonymous founder who by the way left Twitter right after it exploded for a period of time after he made like $7 million off of it. So it's like interesting stuff. If we go to the broader crypto price action, Bitcoin dumping almost 7% on Friday from 57,000 to under 53,000, recovered a little bit over the weekend. My guy Ray pulled up a market analyst, gentleman named Seth Finn. I wonder if I follow Seth Finn on Twitter. I don't know if I do. I'm not sure if I'm familiar. I might. I follow a lot of people that talk about Bitcoin. The Bitcoin weekly RSI is the same. Oh, yes, I saw this. The weekly RSI is at the same level as in July 2021 when Bitcoin dumped 56% to the 60-week moving average. The RSI, which is the relative strength index, is a momentum indicator that measures the magnitude of recent price changes to analyze overbought or oversold conditions. Low RSI indicates oversold conditions. What do you think, Easy?
The RSI is one thing that I look at pretty heavily. We are like trending back down towards this oversold area, but I don't think RSI should be like the main dictator for everything you look at, especially like it's a wide time frame. So like longer, I like RSI on much shorter time frames to see like intraday moves, to see daily and weekly moves. This is on a much longer time frame. So it's basically like if you're looking at this, even if you date back to that, I want to say 22 July time, that looks like it's really oversold. It kept going down even after that. Like if you look at that chart, it still goes down for like another 6 months. So like it's tough to be like, yeah, the RSI is probably the best leading indicator for this. I'm not a terribly like confident RSI trader personally. Like I like Kix's MACD curl better than the RSI. I like some of the Bollinger Band moves, but all in all, like even this chart, like it looks like it's got some leeway going on here with that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup it's looking at, dating it to halfway through 2025. There's just a lot of TA on this chart. Like it's basically like they're throwing everything at this, the whole kitchen sink. And if one of them hits, they're gonna be like, yeah, see, I told you so. And that's where I'm like, yeah, all right. I don't know. There's not like I call this bottom 50K to 55K. That's a 10% range. Like that's a pretty wide bottom to call. I don't know. This whole thing to me is like pretty broad. I don't have a ton of confidence in them being like, yeah, I'm calling the bottom here, 10% swing. Basically anywhere in this 10% window. Like give me like 48 to 50K. Even lower. Like the whole timeline's calling for 44K. I don't think we get that low, but I don't think I fully believe this one. Like this is weekly RSI from 2021. Bottom 50K to 55K, sure. But that's like saying Solana bottoms 80 to 120. Like that, I don't have much interest in that. It's a very wide range. That doesn't really give me much to act on. Like over a long enough timeline, sure.
Yeah, I think that this is a broad chart because, I mean, if you look at it, it's literally a 6-year, 7-year chart here. And those vertical lines, those signal the halving. And so if you look at the previous halving, right, you can kind of look at the, if you're going to say, all right, well, I do think that we're still operating with a 4-year cycle, at least to some degree, you kind of look at the results after the previous halving, and then you look at where we're at now. I don't think that this gentleman, Seth Finn, is saying like, all right, well, let's trade the absolute shit out of this Bitcoin. Let's predict, where it's going to go so that we can, just trade it on a day-to-day basis. It's more like where it's generally going. Again, this is a 7-year chart right here, right? That's probably not what a day trader's looking at that often to make day trades, right? So I think it's more kind of the trying to figure out where this 4-year cycle is going to go. And if it generally goes where number 4, where they're predicting number 4 is, and if you look at the previous halving cycle, there's kind of a similar dip, maybe not as extreme of a dip, but a dip nonetheless. And then if it goes to number 5, I mean, their number 5 is, if anyone can't see, ladies and gentlemen that are just listening to the audio podcast, number 5 is like $275,000. So that's what's going on there.
Just to add, and I know this is going to sound completely out to lunch, but I don't think there's a zero chance on this. But I do think that if we, for example, have the next 12 months looking like this, which is just kind of this sideways-ishness, and you would have heard in the weather report that there's quite significant outflows, we could see the ETFs being scrapped, because whilst Bitcoin might work on a 4-year cycle, TradFi works on a 1-year cycle. So they'll be reviewing what are the fees, what have been the inflows, how much money have we spent on these ETFs, how much money have these ETFs made. And I think if we don't continue to see positive inflows over the next, say, let's say 12 to 18 months, it's not completely 0% chance that those ETFs get scrapped, because financial firms don't like to lose money. So that's my out to lunch prediction for the next 12 to 15 months. And it'll be interesting what the impact of the price will be, considering what it was when the news first came in.
Well, yeah, you appropriately named the prediction. There is a literal 0% chance that the Bitcoin ETF will be scrapped. That is,
it's not zero, Pio. It's not zero. Just because it's Bitcoin, it doesn't mean that these financial institutions are going to keep it. These products have to make the financial institution money. So if it's a product that is not making the company money, yes, they can sustain it. But if the outflows keep going, it's not like they're going to just keep propping up these products. So this is why I say it's not zero. We'll see how these outflows, this is a long-term prediction. This is not going to happen at the end of the year. This is not going to happen in March. But all I'm saying, over a longer period of the next 12 to 15 months, it will be interesting to see if we don't break out of this range, let's say.
Yeah, the Bitcoin ETF is the most successful ETF in history by the numbers, like IBIT specifically, BlackRock's. So I'm not saying that, we know that some of the players right now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there's 11 Bitcoin ETFs. Some of the players will not survive, but that's actually just the way that ETFs work. BlackRock, Fidelity, BitB, some of these different ETFs will 100% not go away. They've been massive successes. There's been crazy runs of $500 million plus inflows per day for streaks of like 8 or 9 business days, during 2020 here. So yes, I again, I do disagree. There will not be any scrapping of IBIT. It's not going away. And the number is going to go up. I mean, as long as the 4-year cycle holds, which I'm not going to push back against that. VX Crypto right here, rocking a Bitcoin puppet, said 2024 has been the weirdest cycle ever. That's because of the ETFs, right? We wouldn't even be saying that it's a weird cycle, because it's the 2024, if you're paying attention to the 4-year cycle, is the kickoff year of the cycle where not much happens. If you look at the previous cycle, there wasn't really any explosive movement until Q4, and then specifically December. That was when you saw the big run north of $30,000 in the previous cycle. So the only reason this cycle has been weird is because you get the ETFs, which is like the most bullish thing ever. It's a historical moment for Bitcoin. So naturally it resulted in a run up in price. But now we're seeing sort of a recalibration of the price to, by the way, a level that's higher than it's technically supposed to be. be if you're focused on the 4-year cycle. So yeah, sure, it's been a weird cycle because of the ETFs. It broke the all-time high before the halving. That's never happened before. Now it's kind of coming back down to earth, still higher than you would expect it to be if you pay attention to the previous cycles. But 2025 is when you would have expected to see fireworks if you're paying attention to the 4-year cycle. So we still have time to wait. 1,000%.
Yeah, sorry. And just to add, I do include the ETH ETF in that. So I'm not saying this is exclusive to Bitcoin. I am including the ETH ETF as a product that could potentially get scrapped within the next 12 to 15 months because the numbers haven't been as strong as Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Ethereum, there are no rules. There's nothing set in stone. I'm not going to go and say there's no way that the Ethereum ETFs aren't scrapped. I do think, well, yeah, I mean, think about it. BlackRock doesn't even have an Ethereum ETF, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that they don't even have an Ethereum ETF. So yeah, no promises, no guarantees with the Ethereum ETF. Although I would bet that I would bet that the Ethereum ETF does stick around too, just, because financial institutions are generally interested in crypto. And I think when they think about Ethereum, they think of quote crypto. And then, so it's like Bitcoin and crypto, but who knows when it comes to the Ethereum ETF? I have no clue. We got an easy memory hold with a funny face there for a second. I wanted to make it full screen. Quickly, I want to talk about trading meme coins. We just kind of talked about more of a broader 4-year cycle, mindset when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto. A lot of people that watch the show are interested in day trading and swing trading assets like meme coins that are further down the risk curve, but obviously offer larger short-term opportunities for gains. So yeah, easy. What have you seen in the meme coin market over the past week? What are you looking at now? How can someone sort of navigate the meme coin landscape and find success right now in 2024?
Yeah, so I mean, in short, I think the main thing to consider here is how have people been navigating the space? And I'm still aggressively using Bullex, who we work with, and it's right now the meta is this moonshot. It's Dex Screener's version of Pump Fun, because it seems like the space is kind of shifting here to where fees can be earned. So right now there's this whole misalignment from developers and holders, and basically once it graduates, everyone dumps the token because there's no incentive to actually hold it. We saw this ticker today, Husky, actually technically yesterday, run from, we even saw it here, it got listed at 1.35 million market cap, which is pretty substantial for a meme coin in this market. There's a running joke right now that if a token hits 100K, that's basically 100 million market cap because of how bad tokens have been trading at the moment. But this ran as high as 2.2 million, currently sitting at a 200K market cap. And Moonshot, which is Dex Screener's product, has now put it more in line with what's been going on with Pump Fund. So what I mean by that is bonding curves are at 50 to 60K. So a 4x off of a bonding curve. Moonshot being Dex Screener's application has a lot more people actually trusting it, feeling a little bit better about this. And then because they use Meteor as pools, what that means is that the top 50 holders of these meme coins get fees for life, and the developer earns fees for life on the traded volume. So this token alone, I think, racked up $160,000 in fees. Developer got 34K. Top 50 ended up splitting about 100K, so they ended up getting 2,000 each, give or take, which was more than what many of these people have been paid for the token. So it kind of gives these people an incentive right now that we're starting to see to just continue to trade and focus on these moonshot tokens. So what I've actually been doing is with Pump Vision and Bullex is filtering based on moonshot tokens to just see which ones are starting to gain traction. What you can see is that they're significantly less volatile. So what I mean by that is there's less that are about to graduate. It's usually easier to sift through which ones are decent. And with Bullex, let me zoom in here. You can actually see what the insider percentage is, how much of the token the dev holds. So has the dev already sold? So Cat Penguin here, dev already sold. But we do have a majority of these insider wallets currently still holding the token. So there's a ton of analytics that it gives you, and that just kind of helps you not get rugged. Plain and simple. That's the best part about these applications is you can very easily take a look and see what percentages are going on, where there's some better idea to understand. Even the Husky token, there's still a lot of people that are insiders holding this ticker who have not actually bought the ticker. That 25% is the Meteora pool. So I don't worry about the top one, but I do worry about all these other ones here, where there's all these insider icons. So usually I stay away from that type of stuff. But meme coins right now I think they're coming back, personally. We saw probably a 2-week lull where the market did slow down a lot. Volume literally went all-time low, and we're finally starting to see some of that volume trickle back up, whether it's on Pump Fund, whether it's on Dex Screeners, Moonshot. So I'm still aggressively looking. We have top or bottom with me and Clemente, where we just trade meme coins live through BullX. We've had 2 of those episodes. It's been a ton of fun. I will say, Clemente's last 2 picks, he picked Gengar, the Pokemon, which was a ticker, and Pigskin because it was in advance of the NFL. And both those tickers actually did well. Survived over 48 hours. One of them ran to like 300K from 18K. And then Pigskin ended up going from like 20K up to, I want to say, 80 or 90 and holding there. So Clemente's been on a heater, man. I got to give credit where credit is due. And shout out BullX for just streamlining this whole thing, making it as easy as possible to find tickers that are fun, enjoyable. Let us dive into the analytics and start racking up some balance.
Those are paper trades from Clemente, yeah?
Those 2 were, yes. The ones that he did buy, he ended up, I think, losing 60%.
So let's say
one ticker he did bought.
Okay, he bought something. Let's say somebody doesn't have deep experience trading meme coins, but they've heard so much about it and they're interested in maybe throwing their hat in the ring to see if there's gains to be had. How would you kind of get started with them? I'm assuming you'd say pull up the BullX platform, and then what would be like step 1?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're gonna just completely fresh start, never dove into meme coins before, that can be kind of tough because there's so much going on, and figuring out like how to navigate something like this is a little bit difficult. So first things first, you got to go to bodoggos.com/BullX. Use that referral link, get in, skip the line, skip the wait, save on fees, whole 9. The first thing that I would do is go into Pump Vision. First thing, because this is where new tokens are launched. It helps you understand, quote, what's about to graduate and what's graduated. What I would be looking at is this middle tab, about to graduate, and I would slap some filters on. I would actually, for now, turn off Moonshot, only look at Pump Fund. I'd want my developer to be holding less than 4.9%, at least 10 holders, liquidity of at least $7,000. Apply those filters. It'll get rid of a lot of the noise. You can apply those same filters to new creations and graduated, but I would only be looking at the middle section. And from here, it's a matter of just diving in and taking some very light flyers. Like I'm talking 0.2, 0.1, not putting a lot in, trying to understand and navigate the ecosystem when it comes to like tickers and know when and where to like try to potentially sell some stuff. The other thing that I would do is completely take out emotions. Like when I say that, it's like meme coins are probably the most emotional game that you can play. Like even a chart like this, you see it run up from as low as 9K up to 30K. We have a 3X here. You can set strategies that allow you to auto sell based on certain thresholds and market cap. So just being able to exit or have stop losses that get you completely out. So you can set orders automatically. So if I were to buy this ticker, it would automatically set my sell limits and where I take profit and where my stop losses, just based on rules that you can apply. And that alone is invaluable in my opinion. So if you go in here and look at like these auto sells, I have this constant profit order that I have, and I can create a new strategy. So if I wanted to set my first stop loss at minus 69%, first take profit at 50%, I want to sell 30% of the tokens, add another order at 100%. We want to sell another, let's go 50% of the tokens. So now we've sold 80% of our tokens, and we can leave a moon bag for 400% for 20. So right here, I can completely set and automate this entire process. Like I said, taking out emotions. That's the big thing. So now you don't have to stare at the chart. You can have it trade for you, execute orders automatically, and just streamline the whole process. Where when you're staring at a chart all day, you're not gonna follow rules. Plain and simple, especially if you're brand new. You're gonna see something rally extremely hard. You're gonna either wish you sold at a certain point, sell it too early, or hope for a 10,000x and just round trip the entire bag. So like that's one very nice thing about this platform is that like just the ability to take emotions out, especially for new participants. That just see all those people making huge gains on meme coins, not realizing that many times those same people who are making these 10,000 X's have lost entire portfolios time and time again. So I think that's the big thing in like the reality check is like set up these strategies and just run them. Like don't think twice about it. Even if you're taking profit at 20, 30%, so be it. Like it's all more, any green is better than the smallest amount of red, especially when you're starting to grow stack.
Yeah, this is the riskiest one of the riskiest corners, if not the riskiest corner of crypto. So this is not anything that's this is in the degen direction, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put it that way. Just make sure everyone knows it. Real quick, Chris Coffey, really good dude from the kind of overall Bitcoin and ordinals community said, so just buy using Dex Screener, right? Because BullX doesn't support buying moonshot tokens. What's your commentary on that?
So right now, BullX makes you pivot to Deck Screener, so you can still chart and get the full chart even after it graduates. I will say a little bit of insider knowledge: BullX will have that full support supposedly in the next 48 hours.
Oh.
So pre-Meteora, yeah, I've got some insiders talking to the team. We should be able to see a little bit more action on that front within the next couple days. So shout out BullX. Like I said, if you're not using them, it's that's on you. That's on you. And I saw someone say easy promoting taking 0.2 soul profit. Oh no. I'm saying if you're starting with one soul, you're gonna completely destroy your bag chasing a 10,000x and have to refuel that entire port multiple times. Like, I'm just saying, take some profit, get used to the platform, and then figure out a strategy that works.
That comment was by a gentleman named Ugly, who I believe has had comments that we felt were worth discussing on the show before. I do remember his emoji icon and just saying the name Ugly. He followed up on that, with a comment that said, JK, just kidding. Profit is king. Anyway, big shout out to BullX, our partners, and what they're doing for the meme coin trading vertical of crypto. A lot of people are, focused on that. So it's good to have a comprehensive suite of products, specifically for trading meme coins. So look, Ray's got us serving up. We'll make this one quick. This is Friend Tech winding down. I mean, I already had a little bit of commentary here. I can kind of wrap on this one after you guys contribute anything. Any thoughts on Friend Tech from either you guys, from Sig or from Easy? We have a tweet here from Stats posted that says Friend Tech appears to be effectively shut down as devs renounce control of the smart contract. So that is a signal for the potential end of the platform. Just a reminder, the Friend token is down to an $8.2 million market cap after trading as high as $300 million following its May launch. Notable NFT and crypto influencer Machi Big Brother lost allegedly $16 million trading Friend. Any thoughts, Sig or Easy, on the state of affairs with Friend Tech?
I mean, I stepped away from Friend Tech a long time ago. I just never thought that it would be something I could ever actually invite my friends to, simply because no one was going to pay to be in a room. Like no one's going to pay. Like, people were screaming at X, one of the biggest social platforms in the world, for introduction of a subscription fee, which happened, within the last 12 months. And I remember when I was doing this, it just felt, okay, this was fun, but there's a certain point I'm not willing to spend any more money to be in a room with people who I'm already in a room with over on X. So for me, I didn't believe that Friend Tech had legs, but I know a lot of people have been very successful there, and some people absolutely loved it. But I did step away from the product a long time ago, so I don't really have anything else to add on this. I think it squeezed all its juice whilst they had it, and they squeezed too hard. They just took all the money.
Easy.
I never claimed my airdrop, ever.
I don't think I
never did it. I saw so many people were like, oh, I got $40, $50. I was like, I don't want to download this app again, reconnect my Twitter, deal with that whole thing just to go claim it. I don't know. The app was fun for about an hour. It was a fun idea. I will say something like Stars Arena seems to have some more staying power because that's a Docs team on AVAX. Shout out the Rove team. Shout out Jason. Because they seem to just be trying and innovating still on top of that with badges, more like GameFi and game theory. Friend Tech it seems like they just gave up before this whole moment. The going got rough and they got going. And that's kind of what happened. They're just like, yeah, whatever. We made $70 million. Let's just get the hell out of here. I was like, wow, okay. If that's to each their own. To each their own.
Yeah, I mean, look, just real quick, ladies and gentlemen, you got to be able to see this stuff coming, is that a lot of things in crypto are built that are just people angling for an exit scam. And the exit scam is form of a token. And so, not trying to say I told you so. I just pointed this out from the beginning of Friend Tech. I was skeptical on whether it would still be around years from now. Anytime you have an anonymous founder and it seems like there's a rush to drop a token, that's really just a humongous concern. And the reality is this is going to keep happening for years. I think it will be 10 years before stuff like this is kind of totally eliminated from crypto, if not significantly longer, because the incentives are actually aligned in the sense that the people that are participating and expecting like an allocation of the token and expecting some sort of profit from the assets that they buy on the platform, they actually don't care if the platform is being built by serious people with legitimate intentions of, you know, developing something that's got real value and will exist for a long time. Their incentives are like, well, let's just pump this thing as high as we can and I'll hit the sell button and then I'll never think about it again. So it's going to take a lot of time and maturation before something like that actually gets kind of goes extinct in the space. So expect more friend techs over the next 10 years and expect people saying, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. This one's for real. And the reality is like, dude, I've seen this before. This is just someone angling for an exit scam. Legitimate people in the space end up getting caught up in the exit scam thing. And they'll tell you that you should angle for an exit scam. They're like, no, like, trust me, the number one thing you should do is angle for an exit scam. It's like, well, what about like our business? They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Make an exit scam. Let's go. Anyway, moving on to prediction markets here. Last week, prediction market Kalshi won a legal battle against the CFTC to offer congressional prediction markets. I love this. We're just going off in the prediction market direction. Of course, the blue chip prediction market platform at this point, Polymarket, really getting a lot of play, given the presidential election, but being referenced by major networks like CNN and others. But yeah, we're going to see more and more action on the election markets, realistically, more and more volume from people that are actually interested in betting on predictions this year and potentially next year. I think a lot of sports betting will realistically migrate to prediction markets. It already exists, but not at the level of depth that it exists on platforms like FanDuel and DraftKings and, in Las Vegas, the sports book, things like that. Have you tried Kalshi at all? Easy? Anything about Kalshi that you haven't seen it yet? Yeah.
I don't even know what it is.
I think it's
like news to me.
I haven't heard of it before. I think it's just I don't think it's crypto related. I think it's just like a predictions market with fiat.
Got it. Predictions market with fiat. Well, that is the format that that prediction market should go in my opinion, because you actually can get non-crypto people to participate, which is pretty damn cool. And realistically, I think prediction markets are an effective onboarder. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Kalshi. We'll see how Polymarket continues to develop. Polymarket, of course, are serious people building a serious platform backed by Peter Thiel's Founders Fund, obviously a Docs team operating in New York City. It's just not, it's apples and oranges. You can't even really compare it to like a friend tech. It's actually kind of disrespectful to Polymarket to try to make that comparison. Look, Arthur Hayes, who's a longtime Bitcoiner, who's had we'll call it a checkered past in Bitcoin and crypto, closed his Bitcoin short and is predicting money printing. Well, wow, what a genius call that is. He said he closed his Bitcoin short. He made a whopping 3% profit, enough to cover his food and bar tab. He referenced that bad girl Yellen, Janet Yellen, is watching the markets and released a weekend statement. If stuff continues to puke next week, Bitcoin might rise, anticipating more money printing, right? Anticipating more dollar liquidity. I think he's right. I think this is a safe bet to make this year. I think it's a safe bet to make in an election year. I think it's a safe bet to make, given the 4-year Bitcoin cycle and a halving year. I think it's a safe bet to make given that we're expecting rate cuts from the Federal Reserve, and just given how the past 2 years have gone. I don't know, Signal Easy, any thoughts on Arthur Hayes?
Very interesting. Earlier this year, Hayes came out with a tweet saying that he was going to close his Solana position and go into ETH. And everyone on the timeline was like, what are you doing? You're crazy. Because Solana was having a really nice, healthy ripper. And everybody who, was in Sol was super happy. So when he said that, he was really like the party pooper of the moment. And lo and behold, guess what? Hayes was right. ETH went on a run. So it's very interesting to see that he now wants to do this with Bitcoin and kind of thinks this is the time to be doing it. I kind of think so as well, because, now we're 7th of September, I believe. It kind of feels like butts in seats, markets are open, TradFi is now in Q4, which is pretty much the most important quarter of the year. We've got election. It just feels like the train is warming up now. So I don't hate his trade. I think it's good timing by him.
Wait, Sig. You're saying that this trade, dumping Sol on December 21st of 2023, was to buy ETH was a better trade than holding Sol? Because he called ETH to 5K. This is god awful. This is the tweet right here. So I dumped Sol and bought more ETH.
I'm sorry,
This is a
Sig. I'm sorry.
This is a god awful trade. This is a
it wasn't
trade,
this one.
say.
Easy. It wasn't this one. It wasn't this one. It was when I can't remember when Sol went on a recent run when it went to like I think it was like 220, that kind of 180 220 range. I can't remember when that was.
March and April, that's been down since March, April. Has been straight down. Like that's where it kind of peaked. Was that
exactly? It was around then. It was definitely around then that he changed, because I remember everybody was so happy with Sol, and then he went into ETH, and then he managed to catch that run that ETH did. Yeah, that's like I remember that because I remember seeing a tweet on a timeline and thinking, wow, that's really nuts, because Sol is on an absolute ripper.
It looks like he flipped back to Sol on January 8th of this year, and went bearish.
Oh, so he was barely on it. He was hooked on ETH for like 3 weeks.
He was right though. He was right in the end. Look, he's now talking about Bitcoin. I agree with him that this Q4 is like we're gonna break out of this range. I don't know if we're gonna hit PO's 80K prediction, but I do see us going into like potentially high 60s, low 70s. I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it. I think we just this election has to break us out of this.
We'll see. Fred Krueger, I think, accurately pointed out that, once you kind of go the crypto route, because Arthur Hayes was a Bitcoin guy for a long time, but he kind of, got involved with crypto, you can lose he said that you lose the plot. And I get it, because, and you see it too, when the meme coin people watch their meme coins go down by 90%, and then they're like, this cycle is over. And it's like, dude, like, you just don't even know which way is up at this point. You're just looking in the wrong direction, making calls, and you're not holding the apex predator asset. I mean, look, Fred Krueger's got a point here. It's hard to keep the kind of plot when you start like just becoming like a heavy trader and going from asset to asset and getting in and out and in and out. And you're not just holding like a mountain of one asset that's going to absolutely explode. But yeah, I mean, look, shout out to Arthur Hayes. I really like listening to his interviews. I think it's interesting, and it's a good balance to listen to someone, with his perspective. So we got a CPI and a PPI report coming this week. CPI Wednesday, PPI Thursday. Easy. What are we looking for on these, you think?
Depends on how you are currently playing the markets. CPI and PPI, if you get this consumer price index coming in over estimates, then 50 BPS, 50 bips is basically going to happen. If we get consumer prices continuing to rise, which is the likelihood of goods being more expensive, which I think will happen, then we should see a 50 bips cut, which I had said last month, and Nick was not happy with me when I was like, I think we get 50. I think we get 50. Just because like the way the economy is trending, man, we've been in this recession and it's just continued to be ugly out there.
22% on Polymarket, easy for 50 bips, 22%, 74% for 25 bips. You want to push back on Polymarket, huh?
I think I do. Like, we'll see what happens, because there's a couple other factors that are going to play into this. CPI and PPI happening this week. This goes down on the 18th. We have a debate tomorrow night. So will we see some sentiment around the economy from one of those parties? Will we see a call for rate cuts on the actual presidential level? Will we see prices from PPI and CPI over estimates, which is a net negative? I think OSF had one of the best takes, and he was like, everyone's talking about this 50 or 25% cut being priced in. Are we forgetting that the Fed has hiked rates 500 to 550 bips? They have a lot of room to cut.
Yes.
An absolute ton of room to cut.
Yes.
And we're only worried about like 2 years of rate cuts. You wouldn't even see the entire market like price any of that in until mid 25. And that's like consistent cuts every month, every other month. So I don't know. That's kind of where my head's at, is like, even if we don't get 50 here, which I personally would love 50, it would cause a mass sell-off initially just on the like shock factor. Yes. So
Our Overarch said what I'm thinking. They literally, all this data is manipulated. It just came out that the jobs data has been manipulated over the past year. They just sweep it under the rug a year later.
revisions.
Yeah, nobody
Two
cares.
revisions.
It's crazy. Signal. Any thoughts
on this? Interesting when I hear what you just said, Easy, from what OSF was saying about like the 550 basis point hikes that we've had over the past 2 years. That is crazy, because that does, like, when you put it in that context, all of a sudden 50 doesn't seem so aggressive. But I am going to stay with 25 for September, and I think they might turn 50 on in October, Easy, just before the election. So it's like economy go boom. I don't know, like, we'll see. But I'm going to go with 25 for September. But like we say, we got to see what that data says. I don't think they're going to talk about rate cuts in the election, though. I don't think that's going to happen, because that language probably needs to stay with the Fed rather than coming out of the
I don't think you see Harris make comments. I don't think you see Harris make comments, because that would mean sitting president, economy crashed, took it down into the gutter. Would it shock me if we saw Trump push back on it and say, this is the worst economy, that I gave you a great economy and you've taken it and ran it into the ground? Like, that's the thing where he's like, I'll bring it back. Like, I don't know. There's ways that you could see one of these parties try to spin it. And I think that's why tomorrow could get interesting, where we could see a little bit of volatility.
Okay, I agree with that. I can see
man.
Trump.
tomorrow?
I can see tomorrow's going to be so good. Tomorrow, I hope
I get to wake
all of
up
you have
Wednesday
placed
morning.
bets.
Oh man, Wednesday morning for me, I'm gonna be sitting there, cup of coffee, feet up as they're going at it. It's gonna be, oh man, yeah. I'm excited for this. I gotta watch Tyriel's commentary. If you're not following him on prediction markets, that's Kix's co-founder. This guy doesn't miss. Like, I've never seen somebody bet 1,000% on any market. If you've tailed him since he started doing this 2 months ago, I think you're up 500 units.
He's got 822 followers. No one's tailing him.
Dude, literally just copy the guy's plays. Guy doesn't miss. None of it makes any sense. He's gone 5 for 5 the last 5 times. You could have hit 25 bets. Like,
It's not risky enough for the crypto audience. Normal people are using Polymarket. The crypto audience is like 50% gain. What do you think? I'm an idiot? And then they just go get lit up for $1,000. $1,000 goes to zero on some, like some other trade. But yeah, no, you're right. Tyriel's absolutely cooking. I'm speaking, Easy. I'm speaking, man. That's what you're gonna hear tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, hey, we'll see. Okay. If you're saying I like that bet, that's a 5x.
I don't know.
That's a 5x. That's a 5x.
If the fact that that's only priced at 19% means that people believe that she thinks that it's a good thing to drop, but that the audience doesn't want to hear I'm speaking. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they advised her to not do it. It's not like a hot bar. It's like people aren't going to hear I'm speaking and go like, oh, like, that's crazy. She's speaking. That's nuts. Like, I just don't think that that's how it's going to play out. So they're probably like, stay away from that. You need a better catchphrase. I'm speaking is just not that hot of a bar. I don't know. We'll see. But tomorrow will be interesting. It's muted mics and no audience. So it's going to be kind of
muted mics, no audience, 2 questionnaires. So 2 people asking questions, no opening remarks. Trump has the final conclusion.
It's weird ass
debate. That's such a weird ass setup. It's boring. It's a boring ass setup. Let's just call it what it is. It's boring.
Weird.
There was coin flips. There was coin flips for where and which podium each candidate would stand at. There was coin flips for what would be present on the podium, how many pieces of paper, notebooks, pens. There was a coin flip for who would get the closing statement, coin flip for who would get asked by which moderator first. They coin flipped everything. Basically, everything you can imagine. There was a coin flip for.
Notebooks and pens. Trump doesn't need he's going to be like, he's going to push back on notebooks and pens. I mean, that's hilarious. Comrade Kamala, 48%. He says it to her face. Interesting stuff. Well,
can you imagine the gusto and the confidence and the vibe Trump must be going in with this? You get shot at, you survive a bullet. You go through life now thinking you can do anything pretty much. I mean, he's going to come guns blazing at Kamala. This will probably be, I'm hoping hoping this will be one of the best debates probably ever.
Yeah, I mean, Sig, but at the same time, it feels like everybody's already forgotten about. So I saw a tweet yesterday. The assassination attempt was exactly 8 weeks ago, which is insane that it feels like so much longer ago. No one even talks about it. I see people writing comments on Twitter that it was staged, it was fake. It'll never get any mainstream media coverage because obviously mainstream media is just operating for the machine. But what I think would give Trump swag is that, dude, going into this debate, he's at 52% to 46% on Polymarket. That's like no joke, in my opinion. That's like no joke. I'm a big Polymarket person when like I just believe in the market. And so 52 to 46%, that's a pretty aggressive lead for such a high liquidity bet. It's an $844 million bet here. Ray, if I'm not, yeah, that's what it says on screen. Pretty crazy stuff. Ray, what are you thinking? You brought yourself here. What's going on?
I had this in the call sheet. Did you see the what I said about like in the money liquidity?
No,
this is an $844 million market, but like 15 million, 25 million, 33 million of that. This is all like at like 99% Trump. Like, yes.
Wow.
People are incentivized to like spoof volume for like potential like future token. When you're looking at like the in the money range, it's like very easy to move these like with one big clip. And last Friday, we saw like a huge swing here where Kamala took the lead up 48% over Trump because people wanted to hit the derivative Polymarket bet.
There was
Kamala
a
Harris,
24-hour
having the
window
lead on Friday. So like someone had like a 4% bet that like Kamala would have the lead on Friday, and then ended up moving the market and then hitting that win.
Yeah, I saw that. That was an interesting. That's very cool. That's cool that Polymarket operates, or that people can operate that way, and then the market comes back down to earth. You said something about volume for the sake of a token. I don't think that we should expect any kind of token from Polymarket, at least not in the next year.
Kicks the big believer December.
Some rumors.
Really?
Yeah.
What's
Kicks believes December.
Really?
Yeah, he said that they don't have any fees turned on. So that's kind of his thing, is he thinks that they're going to do a raise. What's interesting is he also believes that they're selling the data, which like seems like that's pretty clear now because Bloomberg terminals, if you're familiar with the traditional finance technological application, integrates Polymarket data now. So he believes that they're, one, selling the data in some capacity, and two, that based on a raise that mentions a staff, that a token will be coming at some point.
So hey, that's actually, well, if that's the case, then a token will come. If they're raising on a SAF, then, and that's a fact, then a token is going to come. Very interesting. Well, we'll have to see how that plays out and why like the Polymarket token should exist. Look, moving on, we're going to wrap in about 8 minutes, but we're going to talk about Meme Coin Monday, which is a segment that Ray's kind of come up with. We will take the top 2 meme coin picks from every panelist with a time frame of 3 days and circle back on Thursday to check the performance. I believe I won one of these by going with, I guess what you'd call boomer meme coins, because obviously I'm not familiar with what the kids are trading on a day-to-day basis. I'm not familiar with like, Kamala Harris smells good meme coin or something like that, whatever is hot.
It's actually week. Comrade Kamala. All right. Ticker's Comrade.
Okay. So we're picking 2 meme coins each. I'll let somebody else lead. And in terms of the making the picks, looks like, last time I picked.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Quick question. Popcat. Oh, damn. I picked Popcat in the wrong week. Popcat did really well over the weekend. So I just missed this round. Sorry. Easy. When is Iggy's debate?
The 18th next week.
It's this week.
Oh, it's not this week. Okay.
It's next week.
Okay. I'm not going to include Mother this week then. Okay. Ask Easy first. I'm thinking. I'm
gonna go with Kabuti, Clemente's favorite token.
Okay.
Give me Kabuti for a rebound rally here, and then I feel like I got to go with a safe bet on the other side of that. Give me Bonk. How's the other side of this? So one just absolute left curve, terrible take, and then Bonk, They just set a Guinness World Record. The founder of Bonk. So give me that. I'm a fan of it.
Okay. Sig?
I am going to do Mother because I don't want to do it next week because I feel that that's too late. So I want to do the speculation bit. So I'm going to do Mother. I'm going to do Kobe and Brett. Do those 2.
Just two.
Oh,
Mother,
just
Kobe, and Brett.
just two of them.
Oh,
Cut
just
one of
two.
them.
Okay. Sorry. Mother and Kobe.
Ray?
You know, I'm gonna straddle the fence a bit here around the debate. I'm gonna take the comma token on Solana and the MAGA token on ETH.
Interesting. I'm gonna go bonk and Kamala token. How about that?
Okay.
One risky and
So-
one boomer.
One of us took the Kabuti token. I'm telling you, it might happen.
Well, we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, we will circle back on that in 3 days. That's our show. We do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, each and every week. It's available on Apple and Spotify podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen on 1.5x, 2x. It's a great way to listen on the go. Also available on YouTube and X platform video. Like and subscribe on YouTube. It's really cool to watch the show, I think. And you can actually see what we're talking about while we talk about it. And otherwise, Twitter Spaces, X platform, that's where we're at. Thanks for listening, everyone. We will be back tomorrow. Catch you guys.